All right, we got a no heat call down here to a friend of mine's house. Actually, the guy that does some really good tile work and stuff like that, kitchens and bathrooms type guy. So we're gonna go look at it. He did take a quick look and a couple of pictures for me ahead of time. So I kind of know a little bit about what's going on. So, yeah, there's his bad to the bone Cobra. Pretty cool little jewel. Here's his newest project is a Mustang that really turned out nice. Kind of a champagne color. A little bit weird for me at first, and then when I saw it buffed out in the sunlight with the white stripes, it really did pop. So let's go in here and look at the furnace instead of the toys. It's a pretty cool house. You go up one flight of stairs and then into a closet. Yep. And up another flight of stairs. So this all used to be attic up here. Looks like it still is, but anyway, he finished it into a room. I think it was going to be like an exercise room. Yeah, there's a treadmill. Wow, there's the hood to the Mustang. And the seats. So, here we go. I hadn't been here in a while. But I do remember. Oh, there's the old original seats, I guess. Yep. Boy. I need to change this thing out, man. One of them old tall, skinny deals with a big transition. One of the first ones with induced draft. Okay. So, put my jumper on R and W. Here's the sparker. And you know what? I think I heard the main valve click. And if that's the case, actually lit. Just barely. Tiny flames. Cut the light off. Huh, they never could get the main burner to light, or so they said. Those flames look a little small to me. I don't think this is a 2-pound house as far as the gas goes, so I think next thing I'm gonna do is go get the manometer and look at this gas pressure. That's where my suspicion's going first. All right, so after it's burned a while, it's a little more healthy. But regardless, let's go ahead and check the inlet and the manifold side of this gas pressure. All right. I'm gonna hook inlet to one here. The manifold to that, and just like that. Okay. All right. Look at the inlet pressure right away, and that's about as normal as that's gonna look. So let's fire it back up. See what we get when the manifold side opens. Pilot's lit. That's pretty good. So we'll probably adjust that just a little bit. I hate to see an intermittent problem. Now I'm wondering, as cold as it was, if there's possibly some sort of issue with gas flow, and that's what I was looking at here. Not sure what happened and why they didn't have heat. Like I say, I've never seen these fail intermittently. Seen them fail all the time or none of the time. Okay, like I said, I am going to adjust that just a little bit. I took the cap off, and a little tip to the new guys is always sit your threads facing up when you take these plugs out, you know, or the cap's off. No sense getting dirt and sand and dust on the threads and the valve potentially, especially the ones that are actually going into the flow there. And this cap here is just kind of a protected cap, but that's just a little tiny thing that you learn to do over the years. And this is a delicate operation right here. Okay. Now I just barely turned like an eighth of a turn there in. Get up to 3.4. See, I'll let you see how much I've moved it. It's already got it going towards where we want. There's the target, 3.5. I doubt we can physically see any difference. Let's look at the flame. Okay, so as far as the failure goes they had here yesterday, not really sure that we're on top of that. Don't think we found or affected anything along those lines. But I did want to make that slight adjustment to the gas pressure. Alright, so let's go make sure it works from the thermostat, and right now I don't see that we're, I mean, I waited it out and that cooled off and cut the fan off, the limit did, so I don't see what it was that was keeping them from getting any heat. It's a little tiny single wall elbow right there going into the double wall, so I don't know if a double wall will would fit right there, and that might be why that's like that. Anyway, let's pack this back up. We're going to put our caps back in the gas valve. I don't snug them with a wrench or anything, because it doesn't take much for them to get stuck. Tell you what, getting a little old for this. So, tell you, I just can't mention enough how much I really like that Harbor Freight case there. Not a lot come out of that store that I thought much of. I just can't remember if it was Wet Boy John, what's his name? Jon, John. I can't remember if it was him. Or if it was Shannon Knight, who I like to call Shannon, I wear my sunglasses at night. Can't remember if it was him, one of those two, maybe both of them that I saw with those cases. But I use a couple of them and I really like them. So it looks like the S8610U might just get to stay in my truck. Tell you what, I'm not thrilled with the fact that we couldn't find a problem. That's kind of like chasing a ghost, you know, and it's just gonna reappear when you least need it to. So let's go cut it on with the thermostat. Okay. Now, I went and turned it on by the thermostat. Flames look awful low to me, and I noticed the air was just not coming out warm. Now, should I really be able to hold my hand right here on this piece of single wall pipe with the main burner on and running? It's warm, but I should not be able to hold that. That definitely should be so hot right there that it, you know, I'll take my hand immediately off of it. So I'm thinking I better pull this burner out and look at it. The pressures were okay. Don't think we've lost gas flow. I wonder if that burner's ever been cleaned out. Let's pull this thing out. Get a look at it. Very simple. It's like a big crack there. Very simple old furnace to work on. Wish I had $1 for every time I'd slip these burners in and out. Not on this particular furnace, but on this type of furnace. So that little plate that lays in the way of getting it out. Not really part of it, it's just kind of a baffle that honestly I believe the design of this is to keep wind from blowing the pilot or disturbing the flames when they're burning, and that's kind of the hole that you can see your pilot through. And this same bracket was on the furnace just a year or two before that was standing pilot, you know, manual. Push a button and like the pilot, it would have this same bracket here on it. So this is an early electronic ignition, and we cannot avoid shutting the gas off and unhooking the valve because of the way this whole thing slides out together. So I just let it run so I could get a little better look up in here before actually taking it out. And look how much of that burner is actually lit. I'm going to kill this light. It'll be a little more evident. Alright. I mean, it is just barely burning at all, anywhere. And see, I blew on it with my mouth and it lit the whole burner. I was hoping you're able to have seen that. So it's pretty obvious at this point that this burner needs to come out and be cleaned, and I bet you we will shake about a pound of soot out of that thing. So where the light string went. Here in the dark. So I'm surprised it didn't poof, you know, woof when it lit, but obviously very little gas getting out of the burner. I do not suspect the valve or the gas pressure at this point. And one more thing we'll note, that now that the whole burner's lit, you are not going to hold your hand on that. Sure ain't. Alright, so I'm not going to go all the way back down to the thermostat. The screwdriver is a little too big for that. I'm going to use the thermostat screwdriver. Let this thing cool off a little bit, and go get a couple of wrenches to undo this. We'll slide this thing out, and I bet you she's clogged. Not really much holding this whole thing in here. So basically right now as you can see, the gas line's holding it in more than anything. Alright. Only thing that's gonna pull tight on us is the spark plug wire. Got the gas line loose. Doesn't look bad. I wonder what the jets are going to look like and all that. Go ahead and kill the power. Okay. I don't see any reason why it should not light. We may get a surprise when we look at the jets, possibly. I just cannot imagine what else would do it. I thought these would be, you know, corroded from lack of service for years, but it's almost like we were barely getting any gas. All right, that was a little bit of a pain to slide this out from under and get it off, but those are not really clean, but they don't look like they would restrict that much. And I'm not seeing a ton of these. Like sometimes you turn these things up and just shake a whole world of stuff out of them. Not bad enough to do what we saw. So, starting to feel like a dog chasing his tail. Let's go ahead and pull these jets out and look. Even though it does look, the hole looks a little bigger. Let's clean these others out and put it back together. Okay. Now, if any of you guys prior to today had never watched a dog chase his tail, well, now you can say you have. Because definitely what I feel like. So we hooked up the manometer, we checked out the gas pressure, we made a slight adjustment on it. We lit the burner, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 times. I guess I should have pulled this inspection cover and that other little plate out of the way to watch what was going on quicker. And might not have wasted quite as much time as I did. But a while since I worked on one of these. We used to call these live burner racks. Oh, we got to put these back in. Been a while since I'd fooled with one of these. I would like to think that back in the day when we saw them a lot more often, I was a little sharper and quicker, but I don't know, I was younger, maybe I had more patience. All right, I've got it back in there. That's loose. It's a little bit wallowed out looking too. There we go. Alright, I'm not going to put the plates or any screws back in it yet. Just going to make sure we haven't made any difference with what we've done, but I sure didn't see enough to do anything. It lit all the way across that time. A little slow looking to me. Let's let it burn a few minutes. Cut it off and on a couple more times. Alright, and another thing I did not get as big of an opportunity to do is to watch the flames when the blower comes on. So let's do that. I could see them, you know, up through those holes the first time. But we've got the whole burner rack visible right here. So when that blower comes on, let's just see if we see anything going on here. A little bit of yellow dancing coming. Comes. Oh, absolutely. We're seeing a lot going on there. I wonder, just from air leaks around here. I don't think we got any bad enough to those flames dance like that. Let's watch that one more time. And this furnace is pretty old. That looks like 92. So that's 28 years. Watch it one more time. Lighting pretty good now, but that little bit of restriction we pulled out of those jets really couldn't have made a huge difference, but sometimes I'll see the video and man, that was more than it looked like just looking at it with the naked eye. Here comes the blower. What, you can't even get your hand near that elbow there now. Got that tight. All right, let's go talk to the customer. Okay, after talking to the customer, we have decided to cut our losses and not spend any more money on the furnace manufactured in 1992. So I did give them a quote for the whole system, but just the furnace is really what's necessary to do right now. And they do have heat tonight. They actually do have a CO detector. I just suggested that we move it to the bedroom upstairs. So anyway, we're going to obviously have to make a transition and keep the slab coil that's there. It is a 410A coil, so someone had put air in it just within recent years. So we're going to keep that and change just the furnace only. And you know, I don't have a problem with that. Gave them a competitive price for it, so they're going to let us do it. And we'll try to get you a little follow-up shot of that. We don't really hook to the slab coils that often anymore. You don't really see them very much, but that's what's there, so we're going to tie to it. All right, we got one more. It's cold and dark. Let's get going. Thanks for watching.